Merry meet and fare thee well. Settle in for a story with me, Astin Gaël. Hello, friends. Nice to see you again today. This is a daily collective message for February the 10th. I am going to be reading an excerpt from this each day until I have no more left to read. Yesterday's message, we did the word mystery. Today, we are going to be reading about fire. I'm assuming an internal fire. And before I start, I can't help but hear the song "We Didn't Start the Fire." So that song could be important to you, or the theme of that song, which is just a list of travesties that happened from the year that the song was produced and the years leading up to it, I believe. Um, and I saw a post the other day on social media saying that that particular song is still relevant today, but the travesties are different, and it might even be a little bit longer. It's a very long song. So, fire. Something inside a man sizzles. Red hot coals lie aglow in his belly, waiting for the breath of inspiration that will set them aflame. This is the fire that lives in man. These are the roots of his passion, his fervor, his fuel to create a well tempered existence. Herein lies his tinderbox, awaiting to arouse a man to a luminous life. When his fire is tended and nourished and fed, a man can kindle a revolt of his spirit and awaken a brilliance as bright as the sun. He need only build the proper hearth to channel this white hot intensity into the energy of action, to build and to dance, to begin and to be, to radiate a light that shines from within and enlightens all in his orbit. And nobody needs to get burned. A man has the power to be a firebug for his very soul, but first he must find his very own matches, and then he must play with his fire. So, a few things. First off, I am telling a story about the fire within. Um, this is a story that might sound like something that's going on in your life, but it is just a story. I do not know you personally, you do not know me personally, and I cannot see into what is going on in your life. That's not how divination works. I toss some cards around, I look at them, I interpret a message, and I tell a story from that. I'm an author, I write, I have always loved telling my own stories, connecting them to television shows I watch, books I've read, etc., etc. And there are songs playing in my head at all times. Sometimes I tell you what they are because maybe you like the song and it feels relevant, but it is no way me predicting your future or intuiting what is going on in your world. There's the truth aspect. All right. Here's the connection to actual mythology aspect. He need only build the proper hearth. I was just reading the other day about the goddess of the hearth and how she is one of the only Greek goddesses that is not represented by a entity, a sentient being. She is represented by the hearth that sits in the middle of the home. In Viking days, there was often a big, probably about the size of this picnic table that I'm sitting at, fire pit in the middle of the great hall, where everybody would gather. That would be dedicated to the goddess of the hearth. That would be the physical representation of the goddess of the hearth. So we're looking at man's fire, but then I also noticed these are the roots of his passion. So I very specifically want to ask my deck, what is going on in our root chakra? Our root chakra, of course, if we're referring to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's that base part of the triangle. It's your food, your water, your sleep schedule, your day-to-day routine. Think about like a baby. Needs all of those things provided for them, or um, closer to home for me, I have a 25 going on 26-year-old cat. Other than taking himself to the bathroom, he needs everything else done for him at this point. He has pretty much stopped grooming. So I have to brush him at least once a week. He's just completely decided to stop taking care of his feet when he comes out of the litter box. So I'm just sweeping up litter constantly. So it's the things that when you can no longer provide for yourself need to be provided for you. And they're also the things that overtake, I mean, it's the biggest part of the pyramid, so that overtakes your need to self-actualize, and the pyramid flips over on itself if those needs are not getting met. I hope you're following me. Your fire can be the hearth of your home, the reason that comfort is there, but it can also burn it down. It could be your downfall, the reason for destruction. So same goes for those root needs. So let's look at those, the root needs. Are they helping or are they hurting? And, are they affecting people around us? They often do, especially if they're not getting met. Tell me about the root. Okay, so the Six of Cups. And we've got Sally Swing. Sally Swing, which is a little dancer girl. She's in the reverse. The Six of Cups represents nostalgia, or, a past love. Could also be a past friendship. With Sally in the reverse, I'm thinking that this nostalgia is definitely nostalgia. This cycle has ended. The Four of Wands and the Four of Cups. So we've got 4, that's 8. Yeah, So 8 is like the infinity sign. Um, it is quite possible that this past friend, past lover, the person that is currently sitting in nostalgia, kind of thought that this would go on forever. Yeah. I just now listened to a song from Greece, so it's very likely that that's why this song is coming through, but uh, I'm hearing the song from the end of the movie. We'll always be together, always be together. Ching 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 ching. Yeah. No, I think that with that Sally swing in the reverse, this person and you, if you're resonating with this storyline, um, probably had a lot of good times together, probably really liked to dance and sing and have fun and play. Um, 4 and 4, I'm almost kind of getting kind of an energy of regression. I'm a huge fan of using kink for a healing modality. So I'm a big fan of regulated age regression um, to heal the inner child within. But it's almost like 4 of Wands and 4 of Cups. It's kind of like when your inner childs met. Um, one of them was in the 4 of Cups. So like 4 of Cups is kind of fear of missing out energy, or possibly missing out because you're focusing on something else. In the Rider-Waite deck, there's a cup being offered, and the person is looking at the 3 cups that are spilled in front of them. And so there's one above their head, and they're not looking at it. And then the 4 of Wands uh, in the Rider-Waite is it kind of looks like a huppa. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but what you get married underneath um, in a Jewish wedding, I believe, and that's the energy of the 4 of Wands in the Rider-Waite deck, is like a celebration type energy. So one of your inner child is very celebratory, very happy, and the other one is kind of a bit of an Eeyore, a bit of a Debbie Downer. Um, I think maybe the 4 of Wands inner child, um, like the 4 of Wands in most decks, it's almost kind of like a follow the leader type energy. Like the 4 of Wands inner child was always trying to invite the 4 of Cups inner child along, but of course the 4 of Cups inner child is looking at the 3 of Cups that are spilled, and not looking at the cup that's being offered. I'm just repeating myself over and over again at this point. So there's a King of Pentacles here. L L might be significant. Their name might start with an L. Uh, the town that they live in might start with an L. Um, there's also a dog on this card, so they might have a dog that has a name that starts with an L. See if I can get some song lyrics. Since we had this energy of singing and dancing. These fell on the ground, so I'm not going to take them, but the the next thing that comes out I'm taking. Oh, wow, okay. Song by Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran. Everything has changed. Because all I know is we said hello and your eyes looked like coming home. All I know is a simple name and everything has changed. All I know is you held the door, you'll be mine and I'll be yours. All I know since yesterday is everything has changed. Yeah, so there's an energy in this story um, of being transformed. These inner children, um, I think, opened the eyes of the unactualized adults. We're looking at the fire. We're looking at the root chakra. The inner children were being deprived of the things at the base, possibly from their whole lives. Deprived of sleep, deprived of food, deprived of nurture. Um, Also mirroring, deprived of mirroring. I studied early childhood development so that I could become a preschool teacher, and I remember very little from all of those studies, but what I do know is that in those first few months of our lives, the only the reason we can only see from, basically our mother's breast to their face is that's the distance that a infant's eyes can see. And that's because all we're supposed to be focusing on are people's faces. And they're supposed to be mirroring back to us. So it's why when a baby smiles, you're supposed to smile at them so that they can see themselves reflected back. Um, but when a child doesn't get this, they have a hard time doing that in adulthood. So it looks like a person who lacks empathy or doesn't understand feelings, because they don't. They don't understand feelings. This is the type of person that when you ask them, how are you feeling, they start thinking rather than assessing their body. Um, it's me. I am this person. I intellectualize my feelings because I don't quite understand what a beating heart means. I often can't feel the beating heart, so I don't even know that that's happening to be able to say I feel anxious, or to even know what that means, what that feels like. I want to say now with the King of Pentacles here, it's almost like the stability that one gains from having those base needs met is it was found when these two friends were together. Um, Anything else song wise? Nothing song wise, but the first quarter moon is coming out. Um, so that's going to be 2 weeks from today. We've got the final quarter moon was yesterday on the 9th. That was in Scorpio. The new moon is next week, and then of course the first quarter moon, um, and then the full moon, and then the cycle. Um, so 2 weeks could be significant here. Okay, and this is a good writing prompt. I think that goes along with this storyline. Um, who are you? And I love that that's pairing with this nostalgia energy because I'm seeing, of course, the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland, and that brings up nostalgia for me. But who are you? If you were to describe yourself in absolute detail, leaving nothing out, start with your physical traits, move on to your internal values. What are the things that you fancy other people knowing about you? What are the first things you want to tell others? Now think about the things that you don't even want to write down because you fear somebody being able to read them. And you certainly can't fathom saying those things out loud to somebody. Then answer for yourself why you feel the need to hide those things. In friendships like these, our whole selves can be seen. The good, the bad, the ugly. It can feel very daunting to have a friend that sees you like that, but it can also be one of the most inviting moments in somebody's life, especially when they have not had that mirroring done for them in childhood. It is not your fault if you met a friendship like this with aggression or apathy or absolute acceptance. It is what it is. Returning to the fire. You can radiate your light, the one that shines from within, and enlightens everybody in your orbit without burning them. There's no need to chase after Icarus. You know, in Icarus's myth, he chases after the sun. When you have a light that shines so bright, you're going to come across an Icarus or two. People who damage themselves with your light and then try to blame it on you. You'll come across as many, if not more, people who meet that light and create stories about how it hurt them. Let them. Let them have their narrative. Let them create their stories. Because, like these stories that we create on this channel together, they are just stories. It is up to you to claim that as a belief or simply be entertained and move on with your life. Whether your inner child is the Four of Cups or the Four of Wands, keep nurturing that inner child. Keep encouraging them to invite others to play and accept the invitation to play. Be you, be well, and until next time.